Hey girl, so glad that you tuned in. My name's Bethany and this is the Make Up Your Mind channel. You're listening to episode number 25. Whether you're actually putting on your makeup, maybe you're getting ready for work or school today, wherever life finds you, I hope that you remember that there are people that are for you, that are cheering you on to succeed. Today, I hope I get to be one of those people, standing as a cheerleader on the sideline of your life, helping you to make up your mind all day long about the small things that add up to huge things later on. We have been in a series on identity, as well as kind of in a mini series on body image within the greater series. And today we are going to finish that up by getting a little bit practical. Today's episode is titled Keeping It Balanced. So let's get to it. Okay, so before we get started, I have to talk to you guys about a product that I love. It is not a makeup product, but it does kind of go with our whole healthy living kind of episode that we're about to do. And it is Deo. You guys, I was always a user of your average Dove deodorant, Secret deodorant. That's kind of my main go-to growing up. And I found out that there's a lot of chemicals in those deodorants that aren't necessarily good for the health of your body. Now, I switched directly to a natural deodorant, the first one I could find, and it was Tom's. I was totally unaware that your body actually has to detox from the regular deodorant aluminum things that are in there. So I smelled really bad for several weeks. Also, the Tom's deodorant and me did not do well together. I just don't think that it was really working on me. I switched to Native deodorant, and let me tell you what, it is awesome. I have not gone back since. Native is paraben-free and aluminum-free, which is really great, and it's all natural ingredients. I think the first ingredient is coconut oil or something like that. So it is fantastic. This scent is my favorite, citrus herbal musk, but I've also tried several other scents that are amazing as well. You guys, if you are getting low on your deodorant, you should definitely give this a try. It's a little bit more pricey, but you can get it at Target. And I've seen it even at Walgreens now. So pretty much anywhere that you shop, I'm sure that Native will now be available. Give it a try. Okay, ladies, today's episode is going to be a little bit different than some of the other episodes that we've had. It's going to be a little bit more dry, maybe a little bit more practical. Not that the other episodes aren't practical, but you'll see what I mean in just a second. We've been in a short stint talking about body image, about how it affects us mentally, about how it affects us physically. And today we are going to be talking about balance, about how to live a balanced lifestyle. I don't know if you know this, but we are super bad at being balanced in our society. Our society is so extreme. You don't have to go far to see it. Anybody talking about politics, anybody's social media pages, everything is so extreme. It's so black and white, and it is so one-sided. And there is definitely no convincing you to change your side. And you guys, we're kind of the same way with our bodies. And I know it sounds weird, but let me explain. Let's just say that we have a couple of pounds that we feel like we should lose, or maybe a lot of pounds that we feel like we should lose. Sometimes we get really extreme in our dieting, and we end up starving ourselves. I'm sure you're probably aware of this, but most of the time, that doesn't work. I think that most of the time, extreme dieting actually ends up doing the opposite effect for most of us. When people extreme diet, their body goes into starvation mode and ends up actually storing more fat. Also, when we starve ourselves, we give up a lot faster because we're like, I can't keep this up. So I'm just going to give up altogether past the Doritos. And you know what? It's also kind of the same thing with exercise. Maybe we're getting ready for swimsuit season that's coming up this summertime, and we're like, I'm just going to tone up, so I'm just going to go start running every day. Wrong. Every day is never a good thing. It's extreme, you guys. And we start to set these goals for ourselves that we can't ever keep up. Because usually, one, we will start running and then our bodies will get really sore after the first day because we're not used to it. And then we won't follow up the next day because we're in pain. And we need to give our bodies time to recover. Also, once we commit to exercising, there's pretty much always something that will sound better for us to be doing, like sleeping, like sitting on our couch and scrolling on social media. There's always going to be something better to do than exercising, you guys. It just sets us up for failure if we get really extreme and say, I'm going to go run every single day, because then we fail and then we decide that it was never worth it anyways, so we give up. But here's the thing. Quitting in itself, whether you're quitting on a diet or quitting on exercise, is extreme. It's the other extreme, you guys. There's always one extreme on here and one extreme over here. And it's just like we pick one or the other, and there somehow needs to be a balance. The quitting just says, if I can't make my goal, I'm going to stop trying. Wow, what an extreme way of looking at it. Wow, you guys, it kind of makes me sad, because if you think about it, anything worth bragging about takes work. Anything that is slightly desirable, a marriage, a friendship, a relationship, a job, a career, a hobby, a skill, any of it takes work. It takes effort put forth, and not on an extreme, like I'm just going to do this every day kind of a way, but like over time, just always making the decision to put in the practice, to put in the effort, even when it doesn't feel like something I want to do. I've heard it said before that it's always the best choice when you're in the moment, when you choose what's best over what feels good. Let me say that again. Choose what's best over what feels good. And in the moment, it can look like a lot of different things. That decision can look like maybe picking up an apple rather than the bag of Doritos. Maybe it can look like, I don't know, passing on the energy drink and reaching for your bottle of water instead, because we're aiming for what's best for us rather than what maybe feels good in the moment. It can even look like not quitting on your running because you didn't make it one day, but actually maybe rethinking it and setting a more attainable goal. Girl, we just gotta take better care of ourselves. Can you just take inventory real quick? In life, are you actually taking good care of your body that you've been given? There's so many more areas to this than even just eating more vegetables and exercising. How about sleep? Do you stay up all night playing video games or scrolling on social media or watching Netflix and then wonder why you're not getting very good grades or you can't make any friends? Maybe, just maybe, if you are a little bit more balanced in your sleeping schedule, you would have a little bit less brain fog in the morning and you'd do better on your homework, as well as maybe you'd be a little less mean to people. Maybe you'd make more friends if you were actually less cranky because you got some sleep. And when I say balanced, make sure you hear that word. It doesn't mean cutting out all your fun. It just means setting boundaries for yourself. Maybe you go to bed at 11 instead of 2 a.m. and you look forward to bringing home that good grade to your mom, or maybe hanging out with that friend and actually being able to be present and not all grouchy. Okay, and just saying, how about water intake? This is another area where we need to be a little more balanced in our lives. I'm speaking to myself right now too. How much water are you actually drinking? Are you drinking more energy drinks or coffee than you are water? That's probably not very good for your body. But like we're talking about balance, if I cut out coffee completely, I would be an angry person. I would also be very tired. So instead of being really extreme and going, I'm going to cut out coffee or energy drinks or whatever completely, I'm going to go, hey, maybe I'll rein it back to just 1 cup of coffee a day. And then maybe I'll drink an extra bottle of water to kind of balance that out. Balance, key word there, right? Maybe instead of having an energy drink every single day, I reserve that as a treat for myself on the weekend. And maybe on the weekend, I get to go to Dutch Bros or wherever you get your energy drinks. The key is changing how we think about things. Balance is what we're after, not being extreme. And today I've been focusing kind of on body image and on health and taking care of our bodies, but really this applies to every aspect of our lives. This applies to how we do our homework, our jobs, how much TV we watch, literally everything. Sometimes we just have to hit the pause button and think through if we are putting too extreme of expectations on ourselves or too extreme expectations on others. And sometimes we just need to pause and we need to zoom out a little bit and kind of assess how can we actually be a little bit more balanced in these situations. So back on the note about body image, I think one of the best things that I can do for myself is to remember that my body is a gift. We kind of hit on this in a couple of the other episodes, but my body is a gift, not a right. It was given to me to take care of, to steward. It's kind of a big word, but it basically means to manage well, to take care of, and to look after. But it's more than just my body. It's also the temple in which God resides. It's how God chooses to interface with this world. And I know what you're thinking, isn't God bigger than that? Yes. And he is able to do things in this world without our help. But a lot of the time, he chooses to move in this world through us. He resides within us and he moves through us. So if we think of our bodies as a temple, as the place in which God resides, we're going to take a lot better care of ourselves. We're going to have a softer view on how we see ourselves. And maybe, just maybe, we'll start to care better for ourselves. We'll look upon our bodies and we'll go, God created this. He chose it. And now he resides within it. I pray and I hope that will change your perspective and allow you to bring some balance to how you take care of yourself. One of my favorite scriptures on this topic is out of 1 Corinthians 6, and it says this. Let me just read it to you. Or didn't you realize that your body is a sacred place, the place of the Holy Spirit? Don't you see that you can't live however you please, squandering what God paid such a high price for? The physical part of you is not just some piece of property belonging to the spiritual part of you. God owns the whole works, so let people seek God in and through your body. Wow, did you know that the Bible talked about that? I think it's kind of crazy. Anyways, girl, I hope that as you go through your week, that you'll be able to hold a balanced perspective on how you view your body. I hope and pray that balance will trickle into all the areas of your life. I hope that in a world that is very extreme, that you can bring balance wherever you go, that you'd bring clarity and that you would be a sounding board to others around you. And mostly, I hope that you allow Jesus to reside in you and to work through you this week. Girl, as always, be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening, whether it's on YouTube or any of the podcast platforms. And this is new. If you have a parent, a mom, a grandma, maybe a youth pastor, or someone that recommended this podcast to you, I want you to tell them about my Patreon account. Patreon is a place where they can get involved in the creation of Make Up Your Mind channel, as well as sponsor the channel. It will be such a huge help to me. You can find links to my Patreon account on my bio on my Instagram page, as well as links on my Facebook page as well. It was so good to see you today, girl. Remember that you are loved and you are valuable, and I will catch you next week.